Central Georgia sits between Atlanta and Macon, that sweet spot of small towns, back roads, and growing suburbs. From August through October, the market has been settling back into its normal fall rhythm. Homes are taking longer to sell, prices are steady, and buyers finally have a little bit of time to think. This isn't a crash, it's a correction, and honestly, a return to normal. We're not in a market where anyone wins big. We're in a market that works best when both sides ask, how can we make this work for everyone? Let's look at what that means across Central Georgia. Across the region, we're finally seeing balance again. In October, about 1,323 homes sold, up around 7% from August. There were 8,121 homes on the market, which is about 5% more than last year. That puts us right around 5 months of supply, the most balanced we've been since before 2020. Prices have eased from August $393,000 to about $369,000 in October. Days on market moved from the high 60s to the low 70s, and those of us who've been doing this a while, that's not scary, it's seasonal. It's normal, it's healthy. The average price dropped about 6% from August to October, but that's not because homes are losing value necessarily, it's because of what's selling. We've seen fewer luxury closings and more mid-range resales. That's what happens every fall. Buyers focus on value and sellers adjust to meet them there. That's what stability looks like. Sellers were getting about 98% of list price in August. In October, that number slipped to about 96 or 97%. It's not a big change, but it does mean that buyers have a little room to negotiate again. Sellers who price right are still walking away with solid offers. It's fair and it's balanced, and it's what a normal market feels like. Homes that were selling in about 29 days back in August now are taking around 71 days. Now that sounds dramatic, but before 2020 that was standard. Good homes still move fast. The rest just need time and strategy. Fall always slows down. Families settle in, holidays kick off, and this year's no different. This isn't necessarily a slowdown to worry about. It's kind of a rhythm returning. Let's talk about interest rates. Back in August, the 30-year fix hovered around 6.7%. Today, it's closer to 6.25%, with the 15-year hovering around 5.9%. The Fed made small cuts in September and again in late October, and most expect one more quarter-point cut in December. That's giving buyers a little bit of breathing room, and it's keeping sellers in the game through the holidays. We're not heading back to 3% mortgages, and I think that's okay. Mid-sixes are sustainable, predictable, and manageable. If we can get into the fives, we're solid. Here's what you don't see clearly in the numbers. Big builders and investors are absolutely changing the landscape. All across Georgia, we're seeing whole neighborhoods built as rentals, homes that will never hit the resale market. So even though the stats say inventory is up, the homes for ownership are still limited. That's why first-time buyers are frustrated. It's also why no one should expect a big win right now. Not buyers and not sellers. The win is finding a deal that works. Price, terms, timing, all of it. That's where having an experienced agent matters. You need someone who can help both sides see the big picture and keep the numbers realistic. Now, let's take a chance to zoom in. Every county around here has its own rhythm, some faster, some slower, but they're all moving in the same steady direction. In Butts County, the average price was $274,662. Days on market was 40, and sales were 24. Butts County is steady, smaller volume, strong pricing, exactly what a balanced market looks like. In Lamar County, the average price was $268,396. Days on market was 59, and sales were 25. Lamar is moving at a calm, predictable pace. Nothing flashy, just steady. Over in Henry County, the price was $363,007. Days on market is 61 and sales are 287. Henry's still the powerhouse of the region, busy, competitive, and smart. Buyers are more careful, sellers have to be more strategic, and that balance keeps the market strong. In Monroe County, the average price was $432,853. Days on market's 41 and sales were 24. Monroe is still the standout, quick sales, high demand, and buyers who know what they want. Space, acreage, and charm. In Jasper County, the average price was $366,490. Days on market was 57 and sales were 20. Jasper is quieter but steady. It's a patience market, and patience is paying off. In Spalding County, the average price was $273,919. Days on market was 53 and sales were 57. Spalding is holding its pace as the most affordable county in Central Georgia. That keeps first-time homebuyers active even while others are waiting for spring. So here's the truth. What feels like it could be a major slowdown is kind of a reset. The market's back to a more normal pace, seasonal, steady, and realistic. It's not about winning anymore. It's about making the numbers work for both sides. That's where a good agent earns their keep. Not to hype the market, but to help people move forward wisely. I'll keep breaking down the story behind the stats each month. And until next time, let's work together to make it make sense.